He is glorifying everything that He is through creation. The full orb of who He is, including love, no doubt, but not limited just to love. Also includes holiness, justice, and judgment. Let me show you a picture here. Okay? Look at this and let's try and illustrate what we're saying here. All right, we have this circle. We're going to break this circle into two halves. This is what God is glorifying, okay? So on the left side, these are things related to God's love. So we have God glorifying these characteristics: love, grace, mercy, kindness, right? But on the other side of this, the center circle, we're going to have another circle that goes around this. God is also, we have these things called holiness, which seem to be set on the other side. They're almost contradictions to one another. How do you do one and still do the other perfectly? And we're going to get to this in our last session when we talk about the cross. All right, so here we have these things here, right? And then behind that, we have these attributes of God that are behind and support the attributes that are in the front, the first circle there, like power, intelligence, eternality, wisdom, knowledge. Let me give you an example. Let's say here that we go to judgment. Judgment and justice, all right? Those are two attributes of God that He wants to demonstrate how excellent they are through creation, all right? Well, guess what? If you're going to be a God of justice and judgment perfectly, then you have to be a God of all knowledge, don't you? And you have to be a God of all wisdom, don't you? And you have to be eternal, and you have to be a God of truth. You see that? So these come up behind. If you want to demonstrate perfect love, for example, and grace, then you have to be a God of great power. The Bible talks about that in the ages that are to come, God will show His exceeding kindness to us. Man, do you look forward to that day? All right, well, you have to have some power to do that, don't you? You see, so we have in the center these common characteristics of God's nature, and then we have these behind them that sort of support and encompass all of those in the center. Why am I putting this up here? Because the purpose of creation is to demonstrate the excellency of all of that. That's the purpose of creation. Now remember, I'm giving all of this to you because we want to talk about how hell glorifies God. Because if you think that God is just about this, then hell will never make sense to you. Evil will never make sense to you. And in a few minutes, we're going to talk briefly about the fall of man as an example of how God has to have something going on other than just His love. So God glorifies all of this through the acts He must accomplish to create, sustain, govern, judge, and redeem the world.